The storm had rolled across the plains like a living thing, tearing branches from cottonwood trees and driving grit into every corner of the world. When it finally passed, the night fell cold and silent, except for the soft, heartbreaking cries of two newborns hidden beneath a torn canvas wagon cover. Mara Caldwell lay half-conscious, her body shaking from blood loss, her breath shallow. She had given birth only hours earlier, alone, terrified, and abandoned. The men who had attacked her wagon left her for dead, taking her horse and supplies. They never noticed the infant swaddled beside her, or perhaps they didn't care. Her vision blurred as lightning flickered far on the horizon. She reached for her babies, pulling them close. "Mama's here. Don't cry," she whispered, though her voice cracked like dry riverbed clay. But she knew she wouldn't last the night. Somewhere in the darkness, a soft thud broke the silence. Mara's hand froze. Hoofbeats approached, slow, measured, deliberate. A shadow moved between the dead grass and starlight. Then another. A lone Comanche rider emerged from the dark. He dismounted without a word, his face painted for night watch, his long hair tied with a strip of leather. Eyes sharp as polished obsidian swept over the scene, the overturned wagon, the blood trail, the trembling mother clutching two wailing bundles. Mara tried to lift her hand in defense, but her strength failed her. "Please," she rasped, "my babies." The warrior knelt beside her, listening for breath, checking wounds, assessing the damage with swift efficiency. His brows tightened. She didn't have much time. "I am Tohanu," he said gently, voice low like distant thunder. "You are hurt. I will help you." Mara shook her head weakly. "Take them, not me. They won't survive." Tohanu reached out, brushing his fingers across her wrist. Her pulse fluttered like a trapped bird. "No," he said firmly. "They are too young to be without you." He lifted her carefully, wrapping her in a deerskin cloak. Mara cried out softly, pain radiating through her. Tohanu paused, calming her with a light touch to her shoulder. "Hold your sons," he said. "They need your warmth." She nodded, clutching the tiny boys against her chest. Tohanu moved with purpose, building a small shelter under the wagon, using his own horse blanket to block the wind. He started a fire with flint and dried grass, warming the air around them. Every movement was deliberate, protective. As exhaustion overtook her, Mara watched the warrior cradle one of her babies so she could drink water from his flask. The sight blurred with tears. A stranger, a Comanche, was treating her children with tenderness she had nearly forgotten existed. "Why? Why help us?" she whispered. Tohanu looked at her, firelight reflecting in his eyes. "Because you were left to die. And that is not a fate any woman or child should know." Mara's vision dimmed, sleep pulling her under. The last thing she heard was Tohanu's deep voice murmuring to her sons, as if claiming them already. "You are safe now. I will guard you with my life." By morning, Mara's fever had risen like a wildfire. Her wounds, slashes from blades, and deep bruising from being thrown, had begun to darken. The twins cried from hunger, their tiny bodies shaking. Mara tried to sit up, but dizziness toppled her back down. Tohanu watched her with growing concern. "You must eat," he said, offering her broth he'd prepared from roots and dried meat. "Your sons need your strength." Mara shook her head. "They need milk. I'm losing it." Tohanu didn't hesitate. He took one of the infants and wrapped him tightly against his bare chest for warmth. With the other, he dipped a clean hide cloth in warm water, mixed with crushed berries, and gently squeezed droplets into the baby's mouth. Mara watched him, stunned. "You've done this before. Tohanu's expression softened unexpectedly. My sister's daughter. I cared for her when she was born. He continued working, calm, steady, tireless. Hours later, Mara drifted in and out of sleep. When she awoke again, Tohanu was outside, scouting the horizon. His posture told her everything. Danger still lingered. He returned with a hardened look. The men who hurt you, their tracks circle back. They may return. Mara's blood ran cold. They think I'm dead. Then we must not let them find you alive, he said. Tohanu packed quickly, securing Mara and the twins onto his horse, settling her in front of him while he held the children close between their bodies. The warmth eased their crying. With a swift kick, they moved across the plains, leaving the shattered wagon behind. Hours later, Tohanu stopped near a series of sandstone cliffs. Hidden beneath an overhang was a small Comanche winter shelter, a place only few knew. Mara blinked. Is this your home? No, Tohanu said, but it is safe. He laid her on a soft bed of buffalo hides while keeping the newborns cushioned beside her. He crushed herbs, mixing them with warm water, and dabbed the solution gently onto her wounds. The sting made her gasp, but she didn't pull away. You carry much pain, Tohanu murmured, but your spirit is not weak. Mara's eyes softened. No one has spoken to me kindly in a long time. You deserve kindness. The words hit her harder than any blow she'd taken. Tears slipped down her cheeks before she could hide them. Tohanu brushed one gently with the back of his knuckle. You and your sons are under my protection now. Mara let out a shaky breath. But I'm a white woman. And you're... He finished her sentence quietly. Comanche. The space between them grew still. So why? She whispered. Tohanu lowered his gaze to the twins sleeping between them. Because a warrior claims what he is meant to protect. And the spirits, they placed you in my path. Mara's heart pounded. She felt the consequences of those words. He wasn't saving her out of obligation. He was choosing her. The next 3 days passed in a haze of healing and revelation. Mara grew stronger, slowly, painfully. But the twins thrived under Tohanu's constant care. He held them with a gentleness impossible to ignore. He fed them, warmed them against his chest, whispered to them in Comanche as if weaving them into his own spirit. Mara watched him with awe. The man who had once been a stranger in the dark now felt like the only safe thing in her world. One evening, as the sky turned shades of blood red and gold, Tohanu returned from gathering wood with a rigid posture. Mara sensed the tension instantly. They are close, he said. The men who attacked you. Mara's hands trembled. What do they want? The wagon is destroyed. They want to erase what they left unfinished, Tohanu said darkly. He armed himself with a spear and bow, his muscles coiled like a mountain lion preparing to strike. Mara clutched her babies tightly as fear crept through her. But he turned to her, expression softening. I will not let them touch you, or the boys. Why? She whispered. Why risk your life for us? Tohanu stepped closer, kneeling in front of her. Because when I found you, I saw more than a wounded woman. I saw strength carved from suffering. You fought to bring your sons into this world, even as death circled you. He placed a hand over his heart. A warrior honors such courage. Before Mara could respond, a shout echoed through the canyon. The attackers had found them. Tohanu rose with lethal calm. Stay behind the stones. Do not move unless I tell you. Mara held her breath as chaos erupted. The men charged toward the shelter, guns drawn. Tohanu moved like lightning, silent, precise, unyielding. He fired an arrow that struck the first man in the shoulder. A second rushed him, but Tohanu's spear swept low, dropping the man to the ground. Gunshots cracked, ricocheting off the stone. Mara crouched low over the twins, praying none of the bullets found their way inside. Tohanu fought with everything he had. Blood soaked his arm where a bullet had grazed him, but he didn't falter. He moved with the fury of someone defending more than life, someone defending family. At last, the remaining attackers fled into the darkness, wounded and terrified. Tohanu staggered back toward the shelter, breathing hard. Mara ran to him, supporting his weight as he leaned heavily on her. "Your arm. Let me see." "It is nothing," he murmured, eyes fixed on her rather than the wound. "You are safe. The boys are safe. That is all that matters." Her throat tightened. "Tohanu, you nearly died." He cupped her cheek with his uninjured hand. "For you, I would face death again." Mara's heart cracked open. "You don't even know me," she whispered. "I know what I feel," he replied, "and I know what the spirits show me." He looked at the twins, sleeping peacefully. "They have no father. You have no protector. Let me be both." Mara's breath trembled. "Tohanu, are you saying—" He nodded slowly. "I call you mine, if you will accept it." Silence filled the canyon, warm and deep. Mara reached for his hand, tears shining in her eyes. "Yes," she whispered, "we are yours." And under the fading sun, the lone Comanche warrior wrapped his new family in his arms, claiming them not out of duty, but out of love.